Hi, everyone. Welcome to Chem 109. Um, you're watching this, you are in either section 2M or section 3M. I'm just making one video, and everybody will have access to the same Canvas page. So even if you are in 3M, which meets at 9:40, you'll still see this 2M here. It's just because the courses are merged and we can't change that. So I'm going to kind of give you a little bit of a tour of our Canvas class and some things that you should know before we get started. And then your other assignment for today will be to start chapter 1. So this is our Canvas site. And depending on which section you're in, this tells you what time you report to class. So there are a couple of modules within this course. There's a welcome module that has all kinds of really great information, course information module. Then you have 4 modules that correspond to our 4 regular exams. And in there, it tells you which chapters will be on which exams. Then, after exam 4, we'll cover chapter 10, and we won't have another exam or another regular exam, but we will have a final exam. And that final exam is cumulative, which means that the final exam will cover everything we cover in the entire course. So let's kind of break down the important bits of this. And one good thing to kind of remember is that anytime that you're on the internet for school, use Google Chrome, because a lot of times people will have issues if they use something other than Google Chrome. So the nice thing about Canvas is that it gives you kind of a to-do list over here. It tells you if you have an announcement that you haven't read yet. The first assignment is just to read chapter 1 so that you're prepared. And I have this due before we start the chapter so that you know you should be reading before you come to class. Just some general issues that people were asking for help with. So that's a lot of times how I communicate with you guys is to post an announcement. And you can get to the announcements here, or you can use this link on the side. Either way is fine. Then you do have 2 homework assignments that are due on Friday. So Friday at 11:59 p.m. One of them, mini homework A, is to put yourself a Canvas profile picture. So instead of having a grayed out thing here, you would have your face there, and it should be just your face. It shouldn't be anything else. And a course agreement form, which is a Google form, which you can go and find. Then homework B is Introduction to Mastering Chemistry. Mastering Chemistry is the program that is on the Pearson site. And you're going to use this a lot during the semester. And so I actually gave you some tips and tricks in here about how to complete that assignment. So make sure that you are able to access your textbook and everything else. If you're trying to access the textbook, if you opted into the book bundle, you would click on here and you would say, okay, here's my book bundle. I don't know what it's going to look like for me. Aha, it does. If you click this reveal access code, that means you are opting into the book bundle. So if you do not want to opt in, do not click that. You would go and purchase a subscription at the bookstore or on the Pearson website. Once you get that access code, no matter where you got it, every time you want to go to Pearson to the mastering chemistry, the homework system, the ebook, all of that, you would go open Pearson from here. So that's just a good little reminder about the different things that you should keep in mind when you're doing homework. Okay, so let's kind of go to the modules. I'm going to go, if you click on any of the modules, it brings you to this module page. And so you can see all the modules that I just talked about are right there. So in the welcome module, there's a little course overview. There's the welcome letter that I sent out to you guys last week. There's all the information about the textbook and the course materials that you need because you also do need an iClicker. There's my instructor information. Now this is a really good place because these are my office hours, my telephone number, and my email address, but this is really important. If you want to come during my office hours, please come. But if you want to make sure that I am there and there for you. Please make an appointment. So if you follow this link here, this takes you to basically my calendar, and you can pick any day that's blue here that has appointments, and you can pick a time that works for you, right? And you can change it, you can cancel it, you have all the permissions to do that. But when you make that appointment, you just pick whatever time you want. You put your name, your email, and let's say you have three of y'all and y'all want to come together. Add guests. Let's make it a party. It'll be fun. And then you have to tell me, do you want to be on Zoom or do you want to be in my office? And then give me your phone number just in case something happens. Tell me what class you're in, what you need help with. Now, here's the big thing. I really want y'all to pay attention to this. Tell me what you want to work on. Tell me this is chapter 1, dosage calculation problems that I really need help with. That way I can be as prepared as possible before you show up so that we can make the best of the time that we do have. Okay, so let's go back to Canvas. All right, and we'll go back to our modules. Lots of different ways you can get to this place. There's a question board if you want to put up an anonymous question, that kind of thing. They're all kind of campus resources. So here's the important bit for our class. This is our syllabus. You should go in and you should read the syllabus. I am not going to read the syllabus to you. But the nice thing about this syllabus is that if there's something you have a question about, like you want to know more about the iClicker, each of these little things is linked. So if you click iClicker, it takes you to that part of the syllabus. So you don't have to like keep scrolling and scrolling to try to find something, you know? Okay. So you need to go through and read the syllabus, absolutely. And it gives you lots of information and all that kind of stuff. Here's our class calendar. So yes, Canvas has a calendar, and if you were to click on it, you should see the things that are available and that are due in our class. But what I also do for you guys is I maintain another class calendar that you should bookmark that gives you all kinds of up-to-date information. So what are we going to cover in class today? Well, it's going to be introduction, and we're going to start chapter 1, section 1. You know, so it has everything on here. It has when we have holidays, when are our exams, what is drop day, when is spring break, when are exams, when is your final exam. So it depends on if you're in the 2M or the 3M section. So lots of really good information here. Make sure you read ahead. So if I'm covering chapter 1, you should not watch the lecture video or come to class for chapter 1, section 1, unless you've read it. Come to class, but please read ahead. All right. And this plan, this is a plan. It's not perfect. It's a plan. I will update it daily, but it is a plan. So we might move a little faster. We might move a little slower, but these are predicted dates. Okay. All right. Now let's come back to our modules. All right. There's lots of information on the iClicker. There's actually a video that I made here about how to set up your iClicker account. And I made it a couple of semesters ago. So we weren't using Canvas back then. We were using Moodle. So anytime you hear me say Moodle, I mean Canvas. So if you need help with that, you can email me or you can come see me during office hours, but we will start using it in class on Thursday. Okay, so let's go back to modules. All right. This is another great thing. So in class, when I see you, I am going to give you this. It's the resources, the papers that I will give you every time you have an exam. You can't bring it in, I will provide it to you. And I typically refer to it as your best friend in class. It has all kinds of awesome things on it, like a periodic table, conversion factors, all kinds of equations that you might need, all kinds of things. So you definitely want to have this out every time you're doing homework, every time you're studying, every time you're going over the lecture notes, whatever you're doing, you want to have it. All right, then last thing here. So this is, I have basically the whole class, the lectures recorded. I do them all in person, but if you miss something, if you want to go back over something, you can use this link and it will take you to my YouTube channel. And this is all of the videos and they're in order. So the very first one is the one that I sent you in the announcement earlier that walks you through kind of how to use the drawing tool in the homework program. And then it's the chapter one, section one, chapter one, section two, and it goes on and on and on. And you can always go in and find whatever it is that you need. So it's a really nice little one-stop shop. Okay, so we go back to modules. Let's collapse them again. All right, and that was everything, I think. Yep, in course information. So we're going to go on to module one. So what I want to show you in module one is here's your mini homework A and here's your mini homework B. So these are the two things that you want to get done before Friday at 11:59 p.m., right? Now, after you watch this video, you can go in and do mini homework A, mini homework B, but I want you to watch the chapter one, section one lecture video before you come to our next class. That's your assignment. So if you go to this one, I'm sorry, I clicked on it without kind of talking about it, but at the beginning of each of the modules, you'll see chapter one, and it has lecture slides, in-class problems, pre-recorded lecture video links. This is really good because when you click on it, these are the slides that I'm going to use in class. So if you click this, you can get to the slides that are one slide per page. Like let's say you like to write on your iPad and you want to be able to have one slide per page and lots of room to write. You can do that. If I double click it, this is all of our chapters 1 through 10, and they're all one slide per page. If you hover over it, it might show it. Yeah. Okay. If on the other hand, you need to print it out, you could print it out. These are 4 slides per page, and you could print it front and back and bring it to class, and you'd have room in the empty space to write your notes or whatever you want to do. But it's your responsibility to come prepared to class. So if you want the notes printed out, you'll have to do that. Next up on the link are in-class problems. So if you go and look at my pre-recorded lecture videos, and I'm not really going to play the whole video. I just want to show you something. And I'm going to pause that. Oh, nobody likes to hear themselves talk, right? So if you kind of scroll along, what you'll see is me talking about the lecture, and then we'll get to a point where, here we go, these are the in-class problems. And I actually work some of the in-class problems at the end of the video. So if we have extra time at the end of class, this is something that we would work on. So sometimes we have time to work on it and sometimes we don't. Just kind of depends. Okay. Let's see. And then if you keep scrolling, there are all the lecture videos. But if you're looking for those problems that I do at the end of the recorded videos, they're right here. So if you click on this, it takes you to the PDF, and you can print this out or you can download it. But really, these are just the questions that are at the end of every section in the textbook. So the textbook will have at the end of section 1, questions 1.1 through 1.4. And so that's where those questions come from, if you're wondering where I got them from. Okay, let's see. What else do we need to do? Let me go back to our modules. Okay. Let's see. So then after that, you have like the assignment to read, which is not graded. This is the link to help you draw molecules on Pearson. That's your homework. You can follow this link or you can go to Access Pearson and go through it there. It doesn't matter. Then you have an adaptive follow-up. So this adaptive follow-up is not graded. But what happens is you work on a homework for a particular chapter, and maybe you struggled really a lot on a particular kind of a problem. The Pearson website will monitor that. And after you finish chapter one, it'll say, if you struggled so much, you should practice this kind of a problem. And so it's designed specifically for you, which is really nice. But not everybody gets it. So if you do really well, there's no adaptive follow-up. So I don't grade them because it wouldn't be fair. Some people would get points for not having to do anything. So, but it's there for you as a extra. I also sometimes give you extra things like balancing chemical equations. I know is a thing that people find challenging. So I made some extra tutorials for that. That kind of thing. And then when you get to the end of one module, so this is module one, that's material for chapter one. There's always this section that says exam one review material. This is a great place to go when you're trying to study for the exams because these are problems. And so there's a handout and there are answers, a handout and then there are answers in the video. So this is balancing chemical equations. So the first link takes you to a PDF, and then the next link is me going through the extra problems, just so that you have the ability to try them and then check your answer. Try them, check your answer. And I'll do some of these in review sessions. Some of them we won't have time to get to, but they're really useful. So I went ahead and put them up there. So this is a really good place to go because this subject is a lot like math. The more problems you do, the more confident you're going to be and the better you're going to do on the exam. So if you can practice that exam situation where you're doing problems and all you have is your best friend, you know, and try, you're gonna succeed. You're gonna do well. Okay, so let's see. So let's go back to our modules. All right. So we know how those modules are set up, and then the very last thing in the module is always the exam. So if you look at the next module, it's set up in a really similar way. We're going to pick up on chapters 3, 4, and 5. So here's everything for 3, everything for 4, everything for 5, the review material, and the exam. So they're all set up in a similar way. So it should be pretty easy for you guys to navigate on this Canvas site. So there are a few other things that I really want to remind you of, and that is to please, please, please go and get registered with iClicker so that we can do that. You don't want to miss out on some points. The other thing is, what do you do if you need help? So if you need help, you can call me, you can email me, you can come to my office hours. You can make an appointment, come to my office hours. You can go to the tutoring center. Now, I can't get to it here, but if you go to your my.nichols.edu, there should be something on there that says tutor track. I haven't seen it from the student perspective since they changed it, but you could just call the tutoring center. So if you just Google Nichols Tutoring Center, their website will come up. And so here's Tutorial and Academic Enhancement Center. And so this is where you can go. And it's $25 per semester for unlimited tutoring. So you can go as many times as you want. Does not matter, only $25. So they're a really, really great resource. Really great. And if you know that you struggle with chemistry, a good idea is to go ahead and make those tutoring appointments and go 3 times a week and just make it for 3 times a week. Go see the same tutor and get that practice in. All right. I think that is everything I wanted to show you on the Canvas site. And your next thing will be to go and watch the chapter 1, section 1 video. And then hopefully I will get to see you in class on Friday. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody and having a great semester. See you guys then.